Hey everybody, this is Steve Cook with Premier Guitar, PremierGuitar.com. We are in Nashville, Tennessee today at the legendary Exit Inn, and I'm here with Brent Ferguson. Dude, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, man?
Great. He's got one of the craziest gigs ever. He is guitar tech for interstellar beings, which that doesn't happen every day, and I don't even know where you fill out the job application for that gig.
You get kidnapped in a dark van to do this job.
So he is guitar tech for Gwar, and I can't think of a tougher gig on the planet because you've got divas, you've got rock stars.
They're always asking for crack. They're always asking for slut wranglers and all kinds of shit.
And now you've got aliens,
and they break everything too.
Speaking of, I peeked at Pustulus Maximus's #1 guitar. Show me that right now.
This one was used at the last gig a couple nights ago, which was New York City. So I guess at the end of the show, he likes to break it. So yeah, I have to fix it every day. So that's an interesting job.
All right, let's say these are intact. What gauge strings are these right here in this guitar?
Well, I've got one that's just like it. That's not as fucked up.
Let's show the #2 that's not jacked.
So there's the #2, which is just like the #1.
And what is this, by the way?
So this is a Pustulus Maximus signature Blakhart guitar. It's the model number. I mean, the model name is the Whargoul, and it's pretty cool guitar. I mean, it's definitely like ready to shred. It's got it's an alder body with a maple neck, ebony fretboard. The biggest frets you can get. Seymour Duncan AHB2. It's a blackout metal pickup with side note with the little jumper thing removed. So it's
okay.
These things are still super, super hot even without that. So original Floyd, 1 volume knob, very utilitarian.
And awesome.
And you can stab, he uses this to stab a lot of people. This one doesn't get as stabby, so it's not as beat up as the other one.
This is stabby right here.
Oh yeah, that's so you impale like crowd surfers and stuff like that. But I like it. A gauge string, 10 through 46.
Okay.
Just regular Diodarios. It's definitely a shredding machine.
Show the back.
Show the back,
if you can.
So yeah, pretty cool. All recessed plates, battery compartment, pretty standard. Dunlop strap locks. This thing works really good. I like to play it whenever the boss lets me. So.
Now, they are not gentle creatures,
No.
but this thing is not dinged up, and neither is the #1. I mean, save the guitar strings, but it's not cracked. It's not jacked. I mean,
No, I mean
it's pretty solid instruments.
They're pretty solid. You don't get the paint's pretty good on them. You usually don't see a lot of pointy guitars. You always see wear on the corners and shit like that. These aren't too bad. They don't break down too much.
Is it heavy?
No, I feel it. It's pretty light for the.
Wow.
And it's a smaller size guitar, but it's balanced really well as well. It's not top heavy. All the weight is right there at the bottom. The only thing I had to do for Pustulus was he's a little fatter, so I had to slide the strap back a little bit. I think they positioned him originally a little closer to the center.
Did you have to tell him that he was a little fatter?
No, I did it without his knowledge. You don't want to tell him he's fat.
You don't. I don't know if you
he
could
drinks a lot. He's really mad.
get on that right there. That's right. Yeah, that's the sticker right there.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
badass.
The Pustulus signature on the back, yeah. And that's his little logo. I don't even know what that means. It's some kind of space satanic thing or something.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So identical #1 and #2.
Oh yeah, identical, completely identical. And this was, I think they based these off of the prototypes, which were pretty much the same. Nothing has really changed about them since the original conception. So it's a very neat looking guitar, and Blakhart Guitars. Chad Pettit, the owner, really good guy.
Awesome. All right, so now I'm here with Michael Dirks, who is teching for Balsac, which.
That's right.
Again, tough gigs.
It is.
Teching for aliens, man. I don't know.
Extremely hard to please and really actually violent when they get upset. So
it's
amazing that I've survived this long. I've actually been teching for Balsac for 27, 28 years now.
No visible scars.
Yeah, I cover them up.
I got you. You are kind of, everything except the face. Don't hurt the face.
See the top of my head. That's why they got the hat on.
Can
Chop
you,
the back of my head right off.
We'll show that later. Can you show me his number one?
Sure. Balsac has his own signature guitar from Schecter. This is the Jaw, the J-A-W. So,
yeah, great logo too. Great
he's going to get really mad because it's all smudged up, but
I don't want to feel that wrath.
I don't let him see this.
I don't want to. I'm kind of scared doing this whole thing today. So
it's basically shaped off a V.
Mm-hmm. With a couple little
the teeth in there kind of has like the look of the Jaws of Death.
Right on. What kind of wood is that guitar?
It's actual grown organic live wood from a tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have some kind of wood in there. And what kind of pickup you rocking?
These are Fishman Fluence.
Okay.
They're actually, Balsac is endorsed by them.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's really cool. It has different voicings. You can switch the voicing in it, so it can get a ton of different tones out of the same, just one humbucker. I mean, normally it comes in a set, but it's too complicated for Balsac. He just likes one pickup, one volume knob, on-off switch.
Okay.
Keep it simple.
This is on-off for what? For the pickup?
Just for the pickup.
And why would he need that?
In case, if they're on the off chance he might want to be quiet.
I understand. All right, beautiful.
Yeah, so.
It's killer. You got it inlaid as heavy guitar?
No, it's really light, which is good because his armor is extremely heavy. So.
I understand.
We got rosewood fretboard, single inlay.
And again, just like Pustulus's guitars, these are not beat to crap, which you would expect they would be.
Yeah.
But this one held up surprisingly well for as violent as they get with their instruments.
Yeah.
So that's great. And this binding's badass. This red binding all the way around is killer.
Yeah. This is actually the model that he's using this as the main guitar is the actual production model that they're selling.
This is the same thing that I can go to the store and buy?
Yeah, the B guitar, second guitar, which is supposed to keep even nicer than the A guitar. Since this is more of a one-of-a-kind one. It's got glow-in-the-dark fret markers along the side and the binding. All the production ones as well have the locking, who is this? Schecter's locking nut, so the string just goes in, you lock it in there, so you don't get any of the going out of tune because it's wound around the tuning peg.
Gotcha.
It's got Ernie Ball flush mount strap locks.
Oh, okay.
So the strap's not sticking out into your side when you're playing.
Right. And what gauge strings are you using?
Tens.
Tens?
Yep.
Diodaros as well?
Yep.
Excellent. And that's not the same pickup.
This is the what started out with before hooked up with Fishman. So the Seymour Duncan Blackout, which were in the original run of the production models of the Jaw.
Does he appreciate the sustain from being strung through the body, or is that does he care?
No, I think it adds because there's not a lot of wood in this. I mean, it's got all the wood out here, so it's small here. So I think actually going through the body does help with the sustain, and it's such a light guitar. So
well, it's made of some kind of wood.
And it's got real wood in it.
At some point. Awesome. Well, we're going to walk our way down to the stage. We're going to check out the full amp rigs. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are on deck. And I'm actually going to hand this over to Brent to talk through the rig. And step by the way, it's kind of tight up here. So please walk us through from top to bottom.
So yeah, this is Pustulus Maximus's guitar rig. It looks like a lot of shit, but it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, basically guitar going right into a Sennheiser 500 series wireless unit. All that does is hit the Crybaby rack module. That gets sent to Twin City Radio ABY, and typically I'm missing a couple pieces now because I was trying the boss was trying some new stuff out that just didn't work out, so we ended up yanking it out mid-tour. But typically it's two of these Engl E530 preamps going right into Engl 840, 850, that's right, 850 power amp, 100 watts. And yeah, it's just two preamps going left and right, an A and a B. And I've got a noise gate in the loop. This is actually the stereo mod version of the Decimator from ISP. And TC Electronics G Major in the loop as well for all the effects, the reverb, delay, pitch shifting, shit like that. And got 2 MXR EQs in here just to kind of boost the mid-range up a little bit, get closer to that like British sound, you know. But that's pretty much it. It's, you know, basically just a amp, regular amp setup with a TC in the loop. So
are you running any pedals for the Boss?
yeah, the pedal that we use is these Behringer FCB 1010 MIDI controllers, and this is the one that's on front. So obviously it's got to be covered. They don't like blood very much, so it's kind of, they get sticky, icky. But yeah, you know, don't really use the expression part of them, but I think these are really cool. You can program them for whatever you want. The biggest reason why we stick with them is that you can send control changes instead of program changes to the G major, and you can toggle effects on and off within the preset. So it's kind of more or less like you actually have stomp boxes in front of you. And
How many effects are being used? Of course.
for Pustulus,
Yeah.
all he does is there's delay for the leads, and there's a couple parts in songs like "Let Us Slay" and stuff like that where there's like a harmony on some of the guitars. So there's basically, this is your main sound. You got your main sound here. Toggle the delay on and off. The button for pitch shifting, and then we have a clean, which he really hates clean. So
Take that off.
yeah,
Have that
so
disappear.
he doesn't even use that part. That's just in case. And the pedals thing, while we're on it, these are part of the Dunlop rack module, which is really cool. What I really dig about these Crybabies is that, one, they're auto on and off, so you don't have to step on them like an original Crybaby and, like, you know, hit the button. It's just got like a plunger here that pretty much when you take your foot off of it, it turns the pedal off. So all you got to do is put your foot on it and rock it back and forth, and you're in Crybaby land. And it's pretty much set, just straightforward. I mean, the original Crybaby is the way to go. I don't need to look for other sounds because that's it. So we've got 2 of these on stage, 1 downstage and 1 upstage. So therefore, you can, when you're playing the lead or whatever, you can run to the front, do a little wah-wah, step on the delay, whatever. You can run back up backstage, get on top of the cart, and do the same thing. So wherever the guitar player may be, you still have full control over your whole rig, which is really cool. And I think with the rack module, you can have up to 7 of these all over the decks. We just use 2.
Okay.
And of course, they're blood proof. Obviously, this one's out of fire, which is it's less beat than this one, but they stand up really well.
I was going to ask how many of these you've been through.
Actually, I've only had 1 go bad, and it's only because of the plunger in the back. If you keep too much weight on this back part, you'll just wear out the thing. And
How much
Pustulus weighs probably
yeah.
about 360 pounds. So when he's got his heel down on this thing, it's not going to last very long.
Forget about it.
But for the average human, I've personally never worn one out. So I have a couple backups just sitting at home, and they're still doing great. Haven't had to touch them. Batteries last a long time too.
Excellent.
And in the back, I've got 2 radial JDX boxes going for, that sends all the sound to front of house. They're going right in between the power amp and the cabinet. So yeah, no mics on stage. Well, no mics for the amps. So everything's DI.
All right.
And the backup rig, which is really cool about these E530s, is that they have a frequency compensated out as well that works as a great DI. So something happens, if your cabinet catches on fire, it gets hosed with blood, or the power amp blows up and smokes, you know,
Which probably happens.
you can
every other night.
easily just switch the DI right over to just the preamp. So basically, you can run this whole rig without even having any cabs on stage, which is pretty cool.
But you do have one up here.
Yeah, we do. Right now, we're swapping between some Kranks and some Vader cabs. I think, as you guys might know, like Vader's kind of out of business. I'm not super stoked on the tone. Which is why we use the DIs. You know, I think personally, I think maybe the Vader cab is just a little too big. Same as like the Boogie cabs, like the oversized ones. I think they're a little woofy. I really like the tight style, like the orange and the Marshall, vintage 30s, G12, 65s. Best combination ever, in my opinion. So,
Well, we got to keep the boss happy, don't we?
oh yeah.
Now, do you have to disinfect these?
No. You just
All
kind of
right.
wring them out. They do pretty good. They get. Sometimes you take the plastic off and there's still blood inside, but you know, we send them to CDC and they clean it all up.
I just touched both of those.
You You probably got to go get checked out and get out of here.
That's not good. All right, well, we're going to go to the other side of the stage. We'll be right back. All right, we have moved to the other side of the stage to Balsac's amp land. So can you run us through his signal?
All right, it's basically running 2 completely independent amps at the same time.
Okay.
So it's like 2 really nice setups. Either one would be most guitars stream rig, but Balsac's kind of excessive, so he has to have.
It's good to be king.
So going through starting off with the wireless, we've got the Sennheiser that actually running 2, but I'm only using 1 right now because this is getting wide out to feed both rigs.
Okay.
The second one was he had a microphone in his actually in his jaws of death, so he could sing without destroying mics on stage, but ended up destroying that, so we're not using that right now. But so anyway, the guitar signal is getting wide, actually sent out of this through an effects loop straight to the tuner, which is just a Peterson Stomp classic box, and that's in the loop, so I can put that anywhere. Like if the rig gets buried back behind the drum riser, we can have it out front, so we can always have it somewhere accessible to tune during the set.
Gotcha. So you come back and just hammer it?
It's up here, just punches it,
all right,
instead of having it on the floor.
Sturdy? I mean, it's
Yeah. I mean,
lasted for a while?
beats on it. So then it comes back into the rig, gets wide out. One feeds the fractal, the Axe effects, which is going, and that's what he's hearing in his ears.
Okay.
Because they use, we have the, all the musicians are on in-ear monitors. So it's like that's actually the direct signal of this goes straight to his ears and then goes into the boogie, the 2100. That feeds one set of speakers, and then the other side gets split off to the tri-axis, the Mesa Boogie tri-axis, which this, so that's, and this is more the real tube sound side, so we're blending like the fractal amp modeling with a real boogie digitally controlled tube grid.
Well, you've got fantastic amps going on here with the boogies. What are you modeling in the fractal?
Actually, I didn't. The idea was got it right before this tour, so I just kind of modified what they had as the rectifier setting. I went in there and tweaked that out for myself, but I haven't actually gone and done any of the,
Is the boss pissed?
I don't think he noticed.
All right, good. But there's a little bit of ramping up to the fractal, but
Yeah.
I mean, but once it's there, it's there.
Literally got this like 3 days before tour.
Gotcha.
And so,
Gotcha.
but it wasn't that hard to work it into the rig and get some pretty great tones out of it. So
Excellent. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we're
yeah.
down
So
here
this,
on your
the second rig, second side of the signal is going through the tri-axis. She's got the Lexicon. What model is this? The GP2 or something like that? No, MPX G2. And the way this effects unit was designed just for guitar, and so you can put effects in front of the amp and also in the effects loop. So the signal is going into the MPX, and then actually the tracks is in the effects loop of that. Then the MPX is in the effects loop of that. So it's really complicated freaking signal path. But you can place like a overdrive in front of the amp and still have a delay in the effects loop with one unit.
Gotcha.
So you can put anything anywhere you want in the signal path.
And again, a wonderfully old school unit because nobody's really touring with these anymore.
Yeah, the Traxxas.
The Traxxas and the Lexicon. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like everybody had one of those at some point, and I got rid of it because the new greatest thing came out. But then a lot of guys are going back and listening to them again, saying, "Hey, that wasn't so bad."
Yeah, and so then it's running through that into the Sonic Maximizer,
which is great.
Yeah, just
all the way around.
Just kind of gives it that
little push over the
awesome
cliff, as they
tone
say.
sweetening magic it does.
Yep.
Then that's going into we've got some Palmer DIs that in between after the power amp, in between the power amp and the speaker, we've got the Palmer speaker emulators for the DI signal for the tri-axis rig.
What are you emulating with those?
It's just the Palmer. I don't know, they have like different controls on it, like a deeper. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's, I mean, it's actually taking the amplified signal. It's in between the power amp and the speaker. So it's got your power amp, the actual sound of the power amp. It just doesn't have a speaker as the whatever Palmer settings are on
Gotcha,
there.
gotcha. Okay, and that goes front of house, and then you've got another signal coming here to the cabs.
Yeah.
What kind of cabs are you running here?
This is I'm using the Krank, which we specially wired it so it's actually two 212s in one enclosure.
Right
So I
on.
can run the fractal out of one side and the Traxxas out of the other. So it's like two 8-ohm 212s in
blowing
one
some
box.
heads
It's
off with
yeah,
that thing.
completely isolated so it won't fry out the power amps or anything. Yeah,
Excellent.
don't try it with just a regular stereo cabinet
Right,
or it'll
right.
blow something up.
And you're controlling it with this
The
guy?
Behringer, yeah, FCB 1010.
And does this live here?
It lives, yeah, normally we have a bigger area, so
It's a little tight today, but it's
so
cool.
Balsac can actually get up there and this will be there, so when there's fighting and stuff going on, he can still control everything from the top
Okay,
in the catbird seat,
Right.
overseeing the madness.
right.
But these are great. My favorite feature about these is they have a MIDI in and through, so you can just chain as many as you want and have them all over the stage.
Okay.
So it's like there's one out front and then have one back out
That's
of
the
the
one
way.
that's heavily wrapped and,
Yeah.
gotcha.
What you could do with it, you could actually even have it so that like if you have, someone could have a tech controlling it backstage, and then you want to take control of it live, have them both active at the same time.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Well, again, great vintage gear, and
this-
and this is, I mean, this, like you said, this is a guitar player's, kind of fantasy, having this kind of control and these kind of units.
The 295 actually had that since Scumdogs of the Universe.
Oh, wow.
Got it for that recording, which was what, 90?
Yeah,
So
about 100 years ago.
this thing has been
that's
all
awesome.
over the world. This piece of gear is like lasted probably longer than the oldest thing in Gwar.
Dude, thank you. Great meeting you. Good luck, with everything. Because
Yeah, I'll need it.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the scars. I'm sorry about the blood. I don't envy you. I just don't. I'm sorry. I envy a lot of people, but today, not you. But thank you so much. And for Premier Guitar, premierguitar.com, this is Steve Cook. Thank you so much. Check us out on our YouTube channel. Check us out in print. Check us out everywhere. See you soon.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on premierguitar.com.